Welcome back, everyone. So here we go. Pre-release weekend, here we come. Set releases next Friday on the 23rd. Innistrad Midnight Hunt is looking great. The flavor is on point. The cards are not overly powerful, but they're not underwhelming. So let's get into it. Let's talk about some cards. But before we get there, guys, just like always, if you like my videos, hit the like button down below. If you want to see more of my content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Helps out a lot. And then when you want to be notified whenever a new video comes out, hit the bell icon down below so you'll be notified. All right, now I'm done tooting my own horn over here. I just want to jump into it. I've got 3 cards picked out that we're going to go over real quick. Couple legendaries, and I'm kind of sticking with the multicolor theme right now just because they're pretty interesting cards. But before we get into legendaries, I want to talk about the one non-legendary card I picked. Let me get out my handy dandy glasses. Excuse the glare. So, pulling up real quick for us here. Probably shouldn't click the button like that, should I? Because still haven't got my new computer yet. Ordered it, haven't gotten it yet. Let's see here. I'm just gonna go back. Technical difficulties. Like always, I hate this computer. I ordered a new one today. Hopefully it's in soon. Anyways, I can just read the card from here. So it's gonna be Siphon Thought, which is a blue and a black instant that says, look at the top 2 cards of target opponent's library, and then you choose one card, put it face down, exile it face down, put the other card on the bottom of its owner's library, and then you may cast it until, I believe you just may cast it and spend mana of any color. You may look at it and play the exiled card as long as it remains exiled, and then you may spend mana as though it's mana of any color to cast it. So, 2 in a blue, look at the top 2 of an opponent's library, take the best card, and then you can play the card. Pretty good. You know, we've got Opposition Agent. It's slower Opposition Agent. Makes you choose. It's got a flashback of one blue and a black. It's not bad. It's not a bad card. I've seen a lot of people talk about how good it's gonna be, and I'm not on the fence there. I'm not even on that side of the fence. I think there are better things to do for 2 mana for blue black than steal a random card. I mean, you could just play Gonti and just flicker Gonti all day long, and there you go. That's just my thoughts on this one. I know a lot of people were pretty excited about it and wanted to see it being played. I don't think it's that great. I don't think it's gonna get there too much. But let's get on into those legendaries. We all know Commander is a fun format of legendary creatures doing shenanigans. I think I picked one of those. Picked one that's not so much shenanigans and just kind of a jerk. First one we're going to talk about here. Dennick, Pious Apprentice, who is a white and a blue human soldier creature, legendary, that has lifelink, and cards in graveyards cannot be target of spells or abilities. And then he has the Disturb mechanic, where you pay 2 blue and a white, and you can cast them from your graveyard. If you do, you cast them for the flip side, which I'm going to pull the flip side right now. I know this video is not that, because I'm bouncing back and forth a lot with my hand back and forth. I will never do that again. I'm sorry. I'll never do that again. So when you cast him for his Disturb cost, basically he becomes Dennick, the Pious Apparition, which is flying, and whenever 1 or more creature cards are put into graveyards from anywhere, you investigate. You can only activate this ability, or you can only trigger this ability once per turn. And then, as all the Disturb cards, if he is killed, he is exiled instead. think he's fun. I don't see him being a powerhouse by any measure. I don't think he's, when it comes to blue-white, there's kind of the pinnacle of blue-white, of the commander that everyone sees when someone says, oh yeah, I'm playing Azorius. You know, everyone expects to see Grand Arbiter. I think he can slot into those decks. I don't think he's that great in them because, you know, there's artifacts that do the same thing but better for cheaper that don't die to creature removal. All in all, I think he's a decent card. He's got a good effect, good solid stacks effect if that's what you want to play. If you're in a meta that is, you know, a lot of people casting spells from their graveyards or targeting spells in their graveyards or targeting creatures in their graveyards to bring them back, you know, playing against a lot of those randomator decks, which are real fun. All in all, that's a solid card against it. I think it's a very fair card against it because, you know, the fact that it is a creature, dies to just about everything. I don't think it's going to make that big of an impact. Some people might want to play as a commander just because they're like, well, I play against a lot of people who randomate, so this is my randomate deck. I could definitely see that being a thing. That'd be kind of fun. I mean, if you're into that, I'm not. I like stacks, but I'm not gonna sit there and just run that. I just think it's a little slow. So that's kind of my impression on that one. I think it's a good medium creature with its solid effect that kind of hates on one deck archetype. Yeah. Anyways, the next card I'm actually kind of excited about, not because it's a mixed bag. This one's more of a mixed bag than I think anything. I feel like this card is more of Wizards going Simic being Simic at this point, or Sultai. I'm just going to tell you guys who it is. It is going to be... Now, don't judge me if I mispronounce this. I believe it's pronounced Solgrog, the Overslime. That's hard, easy. So Solgrog, the Overslime, which is a 1 green and a blue for legendary creature Ooze, which is a 3/3 with trample. Yep, 3/3 trample. Now, I committed this one to memory. It says that whenever one or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, put a 1/1 counter on them. Is that one or more? Nope, it's whenever a. So, it's whenever a land card goes to your graveyard from anywhere, you put a 1/1 counter on him. Then you remove 3 1 counters on him to return him to your hand at instant speed. Okay, that's not bad. And then he says when he leaves the battlefield, leaves, not dies, not bounces, not exiled, when he leaves the battlefield, you return 3 target lands from your graveyard to your hand. So he's life from the loam on a body. Now here's where I think this is a lot better than a lot of people are thinking. Because yes, don't get me wrong, he doesn't trigger his own ability like Gitrog does, where Gitrog's whenever 1 or more lands go to the graveyard from anywhere, you draw a card, and then Gitrog has the upkeep trigger that you have to sacrifice a land, so Gitrog is always going to trigger himself. He's not going to do that, but he's still solid. There's still so many ways in green for them to put lands in the graveyard. And just green alone, you have Mulch. Well, Mulch doesn't, but you have Commune with the Gods. You have... Now I've got to think. Grapple with the Past is another one of them. But there's a lot of ways to do it. There's a lot of creatures that do it. There's a lot of creatures that enter the battlefield that are green, that mill you cards and put cards into your, reveal cards. Put a card in your hand, put the rest in your graveyard. There's a lot of creatures that do that are in green. There's a lot of spells that do that you're in green. I mean, there's a lot of them. So I think he's a fun build around. He's not going to be super oppressive and super strong like some of the other Simic commanders right now. But he's a fun build around if you want to play like Simic Landfall and you don't want to play Tatiova. Even though Tatiova's generically better because she's gaining life and drawing you a card, but he's like at least taking advantage of the fact that you're playing fetch lands, you get your fetch lands back. So, all in all, I think he's solid. I do think people are underestimating what he can do. But hey, that's just my my take on it. Sorry for like the way the video kind of played out today. I had most of the cards kind of like not memorized, but like I knew what I was going to talk about with them. And then this computer is driving me nuts because it's super slow. It's getting replaced, thankfully. But as always, guys, tell me what you think down in the comments section below. And always, play more games.